After you log in into the Cambridge Soft Suite, you can go to the New Container option to create a new container. This will open up the Browse, and the New Container option. All the options in red are required. The location is where you specify where the container is going to be created. Container name can be anything you want, usually the substance name. Container type is a drop-down. You can select whatever you want from the drop-down. Units of measure, also a drop-down. Container size, how big the bottle, bag, or the container is. What the initial amount is, and the number of copies is how many identical containers you're creating. Any other information that's not in red is optional, like container status, supplier name, and other supplier information. You have to specify how the barcode is going to be generated, whether you're going to enter it or if it's going to be auto-generated by the system. You assign the substance in this portion of the dialog. You can enter a new substance or select a substance that is either from the inventory system, something that exists already, or from ChemACX, or you can look for it on both. You can draw a structure or search by any of the other options that are here. You can do a substructure name, search, or full structure. You click on search. And the system is going to search through both or the option that you selected to give you hits. Once the substance is displayed, you can make your selection and assign the substance to the container. ChemACX is a very big database, so you have to take that into consideration if you perform a structure search. You can be as specific as possible so that results are more specific and not as general. Okay. I found one on inventory, so this is displaying the inventory results. If I want to see ChemACX, I just switch the radio button over here and it will refresh ChemACX results. I can say mark details, and then I can say if I want to select this to be my substance. It's going to do duplicate checking. On inventory, the substances are unique. We don't suggest that you enter duplicates as they are not necessary. One substance can be assigned to multiple containers because it only has compound information. It doesn't have quantity information. So if I say select for the existing one, it will assign the existing substance. Once you are done, you can click on OK and the container will be created. The other tabs on the top are the same information but display individually, like the substance, supplier, contents, optional, owner, comments, and there's also a custom for the CAS import and some other hardware specific information. Just going to close it out. Okay. If you go to any of the locations, you can open a container and you will see on the update option the option to change quantity. So you can update this accordingly, how much there is and how much you're taking out, and it will be updated. You can also change the status by changing the drop-down option here. And you can edit any other information by clicking on Edit Container. You can move the container from one location to another. You're going to move this container from the location where it's at to the one that you're going to browse to. It will be moved in a single action. If you want to borrow the container and take it off its location temporarily, but you're putting it back, you can move it by doing a checkout, which is moving it out of this location and into another location. And then when you're done, you can take the the container again and move it in or check it in, the system will remember the origin of that container and move it back to the original location if you want. Okay. Another possibility that you have is to create a container from ChemACX. If you have access to ChemACX, you can navigate from the homepage to ChemACX. You can perform a search of any given structure on ChemACX, and after finding the structure, selecting the vendor and the quantity that you want, you can place it on the shopping cart, and from the shopping cart create an inventory container. So here I found 43 suppliers. I can select my supplier and say add to cart. If I go to the shopping cart, that will be selected there, naphthalene, and I can say send to inventory manager. This will create a steps so that I can select my destination location. I can select my project, a job, the due date, which that's the day in which I want the container to be available. The reason why I'm ordering it is sufficient quantity is usually the norm. And when I'm ready, I can just say OK, and it will create a new container on inventory. It will not go into the location automatically. This will create a container on the on-order location, and the administrator will be in charge of moving that container once it is received into the location you selected.